What's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of the Debate Mates. I'm Matthew Swanberg, and I am joined today by the OG debate mate, Nathan Poplin.
What's good, guys?
And you know I had to get the OG debate mate here to talk about all of the crazy signings that have happened over the last 2 days, some of the crazy trades, or really the one crazy trade that is Westbrook to LA. A lot of craziness, a lot of change in the NBA going on.
It's the beauty of the offseason.
Beauty of the offseason. Best time to make videos. So, before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Send these videos to your friends, anybody that likes the NBA. Let them know what's going on over here, because I think we got something good cooking, and if you guys want to check it out, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't mean to toot our own horn, but we're pretty freaking good, and our videos are pretty entertaining, so make sure you tell all your friends. Let's get the subscriber count up. We're trying to get world famous here.
Yeah, you know, but what Nathan said, we want to get world famous over here, and, you know, the more subscribers we get, maybe the more IRL basketball challenges we do, and I think those are pretty fun. Stretch and I had a good time when we did it last time, got a pretty good amount of views, so, you know, we've shown before on this channel that we're not afraid to, you know, whether it's get dumped with a bucket of water or the hot sauce, the basketball challenges, we do what the fans want to see us do if we get the subscribers, so I'm holding them.
We spare no expense to entertain you guys.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
We're holding them hostage. That is our ransom. You get us the subscribers and we give you what you want. So let's get on with it now. Real quick. Happy belated birthday to the great debate mate Stretch.
Happy birthday, Stretch.
You know, he's not here with us today, but let me just tell you, I don't know if anybody can come close to Stretch's basketball knowledge, because he has been around the game forever. He's played it. He's coached it. He's just somebody that, you know, knows everything there is to know about the NBA or basketball. There isn't something that you can show him that he hasn't seen before.
He really encompasses ball as life.
He is, and he brings a great amount of charisma and entertainment to the shows as well. I mean, you guys know that. He's just a great watch, a great listen. So, happy belated birthday to Stretch. And let's get into it with the good, the bad, and the ugly of free agency. Nate, I've talked a lot. So what is the good of free agency, the bad, the ugly? Where do you want to start with?
We can start with let's start with the good. So we had some really good signings. Personally, I think the first one that I think was really good. We need to talk about basically what I predicted. I said at 6:01, Lonzo Ball will be heading to the Chicago Bulls. And what happened at 6:01? Started hearing rumble in Chicago. They were doing a sign-in trade. So this was one of the probably was the first move after 6 p.m. when the offseason and free agency period start, and it's to me one of the best moves. Solid contract. We already know what Lonzo is going to bring. He's going to bring facilitation and playmaking. That's what I think the Celtics really want. But the Bulls have been on him for a while now. Even before this, they've been heavily high on him, and so he's a very good. Him and Zach LaVine will be a very good pairing. They complement each other pretty well. Different skill sets, but also will be one of the deadliest backcourts coming into this season. So they got him for a good price. They didn't give up much. Tomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple, just kind of bench pieces that really weren't going to take him to a championship level anyway, and a second round pick. So I think the Lonzo Ball deal is probably one of the best. What do you think about the Lonzo Ball deal?
I love it. And then you partner it with Alex Caruso, who we meme a lot, and you know, but he's actually a great player. Defensively, he's outstanding on ball and off ball. Athletic, he can obviously jump out of the gym. Good passer, solid shooter. Kind of gives you a lot of what Lonzo Ball does, except not quite as good as him.
No, yeah.
And coming off the bench next to Kobe White, I really like that. And then DeMar DeRozan, just that extra scoring punch up front. And they did all this without having to give up Lauri Markkanen, so they can use him as a trade chip if they want to get even deeper.
Yeah.
Or if they want to shore up their forward rotation. So they're looking really good coming into next season. They got Lonzo at starting point guard, LaVine, DeRozan, Lauri Markkanen, and
no, actually, probably will be Pat Will. If they're smart, it'll probably be the Paul, and Vucevic.
Project Pat for some defense. And then you're bringing off Markkanen, Caruso, and Kobe White off the bench. That's a big offensive punch you're going to get coming in there.
And the DeRozan deal was great. The only thing I wish they would have kept Thad Young.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been Lauri Markkanen instead of Thad Young, because he was a very vital piece of that organization. But you know, it is what it is. This team's so good. Like, the addition of DeRozan and Lonzo are so good, it really doesn't matter.
And it's really interesting because they went basically all in. Even at the trade deadline, trading for Vucevic was a move in the right direction. And now you're seeing a lot of these teams, whether it's the Bulls, the Heat, who I know we'll get to later, the Suns, just going all in. The Lakers, too. Just, you know, putting all of their eggs in one basket. And it's pretty crazy to see because normally we see teams sort of try to keep an eye on the past or the future while also like building for a championship.
Yeah.
But a lot of these teams, they're just going championship or bust right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to make for a really entertaining season, I think.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I agree with you there. Bulls are big winners. I have to see how the rest of the East shapes up. But do you think this is a team that'll get home court advantage or at least be in contention?
I think, yeah, I would. I don't know. I would say somewhere between. I see them as like a 4 through 6 seed.
Yeah.
I think they have the capabilities, I believe, to get home court advantage. But we'll just have to see because hopefully this team isn't. Hopefully this team doesn't like not even make the playoffs.
Yeah,
that would be rough. Like
that would be a very disappointing season for the Bulls.
Yeah, and so I think they will make the playoffs. I think the East they could take the spot of somebody in the East, and I think they'll be fine. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to another team in the East that made themselves a lot better in the last couple of hours, and that's the Miami Heat, who are a huge winner. The only issue I have with the Heat is it's a very strange mix of players. So for those of you that don't know, Kyle Lowry signed and trade to Miami. They gave up Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic. 3 years, $90 million for Lowry, so they're going to have him till he's 39. Maxed out Butler. Duncan Robinson re-signed 5 years, $90 million. Got P.J. Tucker. Re-signed guys like Dwayne Dedman, Max Strus, and Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, maybe overpaid Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
Just a bit much. But
lost out on Kendrick Nunn. So when I say it's a weird mix of players is you've got guys that are looking to win now. Kyle Lowry, 36, Jimmy Butler, 32. Guys who are on their last contracts probably in the league. And then you got kind of project players like Tyler Hero. And even though he is a one-time All-Star, Bam Adebayo, I still
and you got veteran and coming off a championship win, P.J. Tucker. Nice defensive intensity, which I think is a good signing for them, too.
It almost makes me... I mean, you're not going to trade Bam Adebayo, of course, but no. I don't know if he's a win-now center in the NBA. He can't play the role that he plays with Team USA, where it's Draymond Green facilitating for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard. He's got to be a
He's shown bright spots, but yeah,
team.
In the last couple of years he's shown bright spots, but all of a sudden recently he's kind of shrunk under the pressure, and it's looking like maybe he's not the center we thought he was. Like some people were already putting him at top 5 centers in the league. I can't say that for certain right now. Probably, yeah, I don't think he would go in my top 5 or your top 5 centers right now.
No.
But I think he's still a nice third piece to this. I think this was a great deal. I think, honestly, the Raptors also, I think this was a win-win sign and trade. I think Kyle Lowry, because we know Jimmy Butler's going to have spurts where offensively he struggles, and Kyle Lowry can pick up the pieces and be that extra oomph that they need offensively to carry the load. Because as we saw from this season, Jimmy wasn't the best offensively. He just wasn't the best all around that we were used to seeing him. Right. So I think the addition of Kyle Lowry for when things like this happen, hopefully Jimmy Butler puts in the work this offseason, so that doesn't happen as much as this season. But yeah, I think he can carry much of the offensive load, so I think that was why. And then you have P.J. Tucker, who can also guard their best offensive player. If he can guard Kevin Durant, he can he kind of guarded Kevin Durant, I guess. He guarded him better than some people have seen.
Yeah. Only other worry I have with the Heat is because they're like breaking open the piggy bank to play all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be fighting with the Lakers and the Nets for these veteran, mid-level exception, veteran minimum type guys. And if you wake up one morning and you got 3 missed calls from the Lakers, the Nets, and the Heat, and you're a veteran, you're probably calling the Heat last. So I'm worried they're gonna get some of those last string veteran guys that that get passed up by the Lakers and by the Nets. So they might have trouble filling out their roster, getting a 10-man rotation that's solid. They'll have a very good 7-man rotation. I question if P.J. Tucker is durable enough at this point in his career to be a starting power forward to play that Jay Crowder role.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be 34 going into next season and was good in spurts for the Bucks, but mostly didn't really start until the playoffs came. And then even then his shot was not what we're used to from P.J. Tucker.
It's just too early to tell. Like, on the outside looking in, it looks like this could be a deadly team, but at the same time, I'm scared that if this goes bust and this doesn't work, the Heat are in kind of a predicament.
Yeah.
Like, money-wise, salary cap-wise, you have all these old veteran players, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, you lost Precious. I mean, the deal was fair. I think the Raptors really are going to get some use out of Precious and Goran, but like I would have loved if they could have kept Precious. Same thing I said about Thad Young, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. So this team, honestly, is the team that could go either way in my eyes.
Yeah. Would you have had them as a winner then? one of the good.
Yeah, I would have them right now. As of right now, first glances from what I saw, good, fairly okay contracts, maybe a little overpay. I'd have them as winners.
I mean, they made their team better, and
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
in free agency, sometimes all that matters is to win free agency by making your team better on paper, and then that wins you the summer, and so you got to see how you do in the regular season. It's you just gotta hope that they gel immediately because this might be Lowry's last year of his prime. Last year, I had him in my top 25. Stretch had him in his top 25. This year, not so much. And it's not like a Siakam situation, a Bam Adebayo situation where they just had a dip. This might be the dip for Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Coming up, so you gotta cash in this year basically. And one thing that goes their way is we saw in the playoffs. If you have the right pieces, injuries happen.
Yeah.
Injuries happen a lot to the Nets, to the Lakers. They're bound to happen to some teams, and the Heat just got to hope they're not one of them. They've been pretty durable. I guess the finals last year, or 2 years ago, Bam Adebayo had the shoulder injury. But for the most part, the Heat have been able to stay durable, stay healthy throughout the duration of a season. Lowry has been pretty durable in his career.
Yeah, but like I can tell in your voice you're implying. On the other hand, though, they could be the team that comes so close and falls victim to injury, and so... Again, it could go either way. I don't know. I have them as winners. Do you have them?
I do. And
do you have them as winners?
The other thing that I think Lowry helps out with a lot is, and PJ Tucker too, is after this season, after they went to the finals, I think the Heat got a false sense of confidence that, we can go in as the 7, 6, 5 seed, and we can beat anybody, and we can make it to the finals again. We did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And as we saw, that wasn't true. They played badly the whole season. They thought Jimmy Butler could get stupidly locked in right before playoff time and carry him over the Bucks. That didn't happen. Lowry is a veteran that knows and has benefited from being at the top of the East, whether it was with the 2 seed when they won the championship, of course, all those years where they were making it to the conference finals, then just losing to LeBron.
Yeah.
But all of those playoff runs have been as high seeds. The Raptors are always a team that have overachieved in the regular season. I think he brings a mentality to the Heat, like, we have to care about this. We have to be a top 3 seed because if we're 6 or 7 or 5 and we're coming up against the Nets or the Bucks or the Sixers in the first round, we're making a journey a lot tougher than it needs to be. So I think that he adds that. I think Tucker adds that. I think Butler will have learned his lesson as well. So I like him from a leadership standpoint too. Now, do you want to go to another winner? You got another one?
Yeah, I think I got one more real big winner, and it's got to be the New York Knicks.
Okay.
I think. Well, you sound like that's a surprise.
I mean, for me, it's a little bit more of a what the heck deal.
Oh, you actually think? Which? I mean, are you talking about the Evan Fournier deal for the most part?
Yeah.
That's what I was complaining about.
The one thing though is Evan Fournier is making $20 million. The rest of the guys they signed are making $10 million. Throw those contracts together to get a Damian Lillard down the line, maybe then it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I think it's good from a cap perspective, and I think Evan Fournier is a good guy to add to your squad. And then you kept some key pieces that were good for you this year, like Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel and Derrick Rose. The only iffy one to me, other than how much you paid Evan Fournier, maybe is the Taj Gibson signing. Cause he's getting up there, and they seem to keep bringing him back. But honestly,
he can never leave.
I think, from what I've seen this season, the New York Knicks surprised all of us, and I think the Evan Fournier addition and re-signing some of your key pieces makes them a winner. You don't have to go out and have the most flashy deals. You can get one key player, and I'd still consider you a winner. I think I consider them winners. So you don't consider them winners.
They were in the ugly category for me because coming into free agency, they had the most cap space, the most room to play with. And it's not like in the past where they had a lot of cap space going into free agency, and they locked some guys up for 1-year deals just to see what happened. They're locking these guys up for 3 to 4 years. Derrick Rose is on a 3-year, $32 million deal or $30 million deal, I believe. Nerlens Noel 3 years, $32. Alec Burks 3 years, $30. Evan Fournier's 4 years, $80. They're locking up a lot of money in these guys long term. This is their team, and you're paying Nerlens Noel starting center bucks for a guy that's not really a starting caliber center in the NBA and is very injury prone. So I think they're just locking up too much money, and when they're finally getting to the point where you could see a free agent in the future going, I want to play for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And
the Knicks have been revitalized.
Put that cap space into
a Damian Lillard, perhaps a Kawhi Leonard, perhaps.
And instead they put that cap space into guys that they had last year and one extra guy. And Fournier will help out on offense with shot creation and all that, but he's not worth $20 million. Not for the Knicks.
Yeah, no, that was 4 years, $78 million. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that is quite a bit.
So that's the thing that just had me scratching my head. There is you might as well just kind of play the waiting game, and hope to let your young guys develop in this season.
Yeah, that might have something to do with Thibs too.
Yeah.
I think Thibs maybe doesn't want a big time. Maybe Thibs in the organization doesn't want a big time. Maybe they like what they have so far, and they really feel that Evan Fournier and re-signing some key pieces is all they really need to make a difference. You never know.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little overpay. But I kind of liked what the Knicks did this season. Who'd be another? So do you have another good team?
I kind of have two.
Okay, go on.
So first one is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Jeff Green, a little bit of a big loss for them, but this iteration of the Nets team coming into next season with James Harden on the roster, Patty Mills will be the best bench player they had. He would have been last year. He'll be this year, I think.
Him and Claxton.
Watching the Olympics, it doesn't look like he's lost a step. He's 32, can shoot the cover off the ball. A lot of these young, older, veteran minimum type guys, mid-level exception guys, are kind of one role players. Like, they're not role players that kind of do a little bit of everything. The guys that you're seeing signing for the Lakers and stuff, they are three-point shooters or they are rim protectors. They're not really filling multiple boxes. Patty Mills hustles. He can shoot. He can pass. He can close games for you if you need him on the court if Kyrie or Harden is out or if you just want to go small ball.
Yeah.
He's just a really great plug-and-play player for me. Growing up with my dad as a Spurs fan, I've seen a lot of Patty Mills, and I've seen the highs of Patty Mills, and when he gets going, he can be dangerous. We see it in the Olympics. FIBA Patty Mills is a terror. And if he can bring a little bit of that into the Nets in a playoff game in a quarter, in a random third quarter, where KD and Kyrie don't have it going on against the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 4, and a muscle-in or a seesaw type of game, that's a win. And that's something you weren't getting from any bench players last year. So I really like that signing. James Johnson is fine. You know, he's good at MMA and whatnot, so he's got that.
He's good at being intimidating.
Right. You hold on to Bruce Brown, love it. Hold on to Blake Griffin, love it. And then the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns are also big.
Questionable signing Chris Paul to 4 years, $120 million.
That's a lot. But I absolutely love the Cameron Payne signing. I honestly might have thought that's a steal.
I like that, yeah.
And I had no problem with the JaVale McGee signing.
Well, that was why I'm giving them a winner. Is you keep the team that made it to the finals, except for Torrey Craig, and you make your center spot better.
Yeah.
That was their only real fault last year. Is they were coming off with Dario Saric, or my Maryland guy Jalen Smith in the center rotation, and they did not want to play Jalen Smith. And they did not really want to play Sarge extended minutes. JaVale McGee's been there, done that. He might be a gold medalist by the end of this summer. Knock on wood. Hopefully he is. But he's just a great guy that you can bring off the bench. Played well for the Nuggets. Would have been someone I bet they wish they could have kept.
Yeah.
So I really like what the Suns did. Chris Paul going to be getting $30 million till he's 40 years old.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, so crazy stuff there. And I have a question for you. And this might seem a little crazy to the viewers. But let's say you're Phoenix, and you could overpay Chris Paul, or you could continue to lean into the youth, still win, and sign a guy that could develop that's already pretty good, like Lonzo Ball. Now, obviously, if you're going for the finals again, you're going for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But you look at the Western Conference, you look at the Eastern Conference, and you maybe talk yourself into, well, this year was a little different. Injuries kind of went our way. Could you talk yourself into saying, let's go young, we'll still be good, and this way we can get better? Or do you say, let's cap it right here and rewind, go again? Do you think there's any merit to maybe going younger and still being pretty good?
No, honestly, because I just think the effect Chris Paul has on this team is irreplaceable. Intense locker room guy, and he brings the intensity up, and he makes everybody else around him play better. That's what you want, not only having a point guard, but a teammate. And so, sure, you can bring in Alonzo Ball and still be good, but I think Chris Paul gives you the best shot, even at his age.
Okay.
Even at his age, I still think he gives you the best shot to make a finals and potentially win a championship.
I think that's the right answer, because Lonzo's not giving you the clutch shots of Chris Paul. He's not giving you the late-game decision-making. But I was just wondering if you could get behind that at all.
No, and then again, I don't know if I see Lonzo also on this team.
Right.
I don't think he fits as well as he would in like Boston or Chicago where he actually is. So yeah,
or Dallas.
Or Dallas. So yeah, I don't think there's much merit to that. They really. I mean, it's a lot of money for a guy his age, but you know what? I think
He's deserved it.
I think he deserves it. And I think it'll be worth it. I don't think they'll regret it too much.
They better hope that cap skyrockets, because they're paying Chris Paul Devin Booker's going to get an extension soon. DeAndre Ayton is up for his rookie extension. Mikal Bridges is up for his rookie extension.
Yeah, they're looking at some potential money
This is going to
problems.
get expensive. These teams are throwing out money left and right. I mean, we saw Kelly Olynyk get 3 years, $37 million. He's making almost $13 million a year. That's crazy. These guys.
We'll talk about that one later.
If you can make it to viewers, if you can make it to the NBA, in case you haven't noticed, you can get pretty rich. So get in the gym.
You can
know?
be set for life.
Yeah. So Nate, you want to go to the bad?
Yeah, I think my first team bad-wise might surprise you. I don't know how you feel as Dallas Mavericks.
I was considering mentioning them as one of my winners.
Oh, really? No, it's not because it's the Tim Hardaway deal. Excellent. Returning Boban. But those are guys that have already returned. What have they done? Like, I'm not trying to knock Sterling Brown and Reggie Bullock, and we don't know what moves are left to come. Reggie Bullock's a pretty good three-point shooter, but you didn't really do much to improve the team and put pieces around Luka, did you?
Feels like they swung out, or they struck out, on Lowry, Lonzo,
Yeah.
CP3.
It's kind of
and
like
said,
the
well,
Knicks situation.
here.
They swung out on Kyrie, KD, and Zion, and then just threw money at random people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't want to. The reason I think this has some merit, and I think the team's good, and I think these re-signings are the only reason I put them in the bad and not the ugly. To be completely honest with you, I just don't see that Sterling Brown and Reggie Bullock making that much of a difference for this Mavericks team.
Right.
If they want to make a push for the playoffs, it's just so that's why they're in my bad. But you said you have them as a winner.
I can get behind that. The only thing I have is to rebuttal is at least they're both over 40% from three. League needs shooters.
Yeah.
Surround Luka with shooters. Nothing can go wrong with that. He's one of the best facilitators in the NBA. But I can understand why you would maybe look at this and not be quite as happy. Also, got Moses Brown, sweet Moses Brown.
Yeah, that one still makes me a
For the
little mad.
Boston
I'd
Celtics.
rather have Moses Brown right now than Al Horford.
Or Josh Richardson.
I'm cool with the Chris Dunn and I'm cool with Josh Richardson, but I really wish we hadn't given up Moses Brown because I think Moses Brown could have been nice for us.
So I like that they kept Tim Hardaway Jr. Boban is kind of a locker room guy that you just got to keep because Luka doesn't seem to get along well with everybody, and Boban is one of the guys he does get along with. So you keep him happy, keeping Boban there. Sterling Brown shoots above 41% from three, which kind of surprised me. Reggie Bullock shoots 40+% from three. Great piece for the Knicks and their position.
Maybe he will be a great. Maybe I'm wrong, and these two come out and make a huge difference and push them into playoff contention. But looking at it on paper, it just doesn't seem like Dallas did much. I expected a little bit more out of Dallas.
Yeah, I can understand
something more out of something.
All right, moving on. I'm gonna go there, Nate.
Oh, who are you gonna put?
I'm gonna go there. Let's open up the retirement facility, and let's give this one to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh,
Hot take.
hot take,
Bold
but
opinion.
I'm here for it. Let's hear it.
Maybe I just like to be a little controversial on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, you're
And
addicted to it. That's fine.
let's go for it. Let's lean into the villain role a little bit here.
I'll completely listen. It's not so far-fetched to some people watching. It might be completely far, but to me, it's not far-fetched. I get, which I've seen all the comments about the retirement facility. A lot of old, on their way out of the NBA pieces. Almost.
So let's go back about a week ago on the NBA draft night, and I'll group Westbrook into this free agency as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you get Russell Westbrook, which we never discussed on the podcast or whatever what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of LeBron's play style. There's never been a team that Westbrook has played on that every time you get Westbrook, he is injected into your team's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You become run and gun. You become 3-point shooting heavy, and that is about it. You don't play a whole lot of defense. You saw them bully Clint Capella out of Houston. Clint Capella and James Harden worked perfectly together. But the second you bring Westbrook in, even if one player doesn't fit, like if it's just a small imperfection, can't play with Westbrook because he just is that kind of particular in the players he needs to be around him to be successful. He needs to paint. He needs shooters.
But the Lakers got a bona fide. At least he's a bona fide point guard.
He's a bona fide point guard, but the Lakers trade it for talent instead of fit, which is, I think, one of the biggest mistakes a team can make. Westbrook is aging. He's exiting his prime.
If you want to make that argument, just look at the Nets when they added KG, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson.
And
I get that. Yeah.
I think also with Westbrook, he can't be a role player in this league. He just doesn't seem to have that mentality where he can be a role player. And I know he's had that dinner at LeBron's house where he said, "I'll do this." AD said, "I'll play center." LeBron said, "I'll play power forward." But until I see it on the court, I suspend my or I'm not going to believe it quite yet, because Anthony Davis has said, I'll play center. And then Anthony Davis has said, you know what, I'm a little too fragile to play center. So injuries are a concern with this team, like we were talking about with the Wizards. They were at their best when Westbrook was at their best. When Westbrook was just some guy, when he was just Bradley Beal's number 2, they were one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. And, of course, the Lakers have a much better first and second option than Bradley Beal was for the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
But I just struggle to see how Westbrook fits in as your third guy. I also struggle to see how Anthony Davis fits on the floor with both of these guys, because I don't want to see him play the Joel Embiid role of the past, where you're out at the 3-point line instead of in the paint.
I still have them considered winners only because there's certain I absolutely love I like the Carmelo deal. I think that's not bad. I think Carmelo will still be a nice piece off your bench. Malik Monk, I think, was probably the most underrated acquisition of this one. I think he'll be solid for them.
Well,
and Kendrick Nunn's not bad. Trevor Ariza, I question because of how old he is.
Well,
but
that's the other thing. All the guys you mentioned, none of them play a lick of defense. Russell Westbrook does not play defense. LeBron James can play defense, but you do not want 37-year-old LeBron James guarding Steph Curry in a 7-game series and then going, okay, now can you give us 28, 10, and 9? Like, he can do it maybe for a couple of games, but at this point in his career, that's just not something you want to see him doing. Not a burden you want to put on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is a great defender when he's healthy, when he's there. But then Carmelo Anthony, not going to play defense. Malik Monk doesn't play defense. You traded away Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, your best perimeter defender. You lost Alex Caruso, your second best perimeter defender. This team's just going to have to bank on outscoring every single team they play. And of course the Nets were injured, but we saw how that worked with the Nets. Sometimes your offense just leaves you.
And then I also run to the issue, to your point. And you said this is kind of a hot take. If you really listen to what we're saying, it's really not a hot take.
Yeah.
It makes sense. The only other thing is I kind of run I don't think it'll be as bad but do you remember when I said the Sixers, their one downfall is going to be their lack of pure perimeter shooting?
Right.
I think that they might affect outside of who? Wayne Ellington, basically a pure perimeter shooter. Trevor Ariza, your basic old 3-and-D. I don't know. I just see a lot. I see a lot of playmakers. I see a lot of finishers. I don't see a lot of pure shooters. And as we know, having an intense lack of pure shooters on the perimeter is going to come to bite you back in the butt.
And all of their pure shooters, they're guys that you can't play in the playoffs for an extended period of time. If I'm a team and I see Wayne Ellington on the court, I am licking my lips. I'm going at him every time. If I see Malik Monk on the court, Malik Monk is I think he plays a Ben McLemore role, similar to what McLemore did last year with the Lakers, where he can get hot and hit 7 or 8 threes, but he's not going to give you anything on defense, and he's also not going to hit that many threes in the next game, or maybe not even get in the rotation in the next game.
Yeah.
And then Kendrick Nunn, solid piece. Another guy that's a little inconsistent. Trevor Ariza, we saw what he did with the Heat. I mean, they had to start Dwayne Dedmon over Trevor Ariza against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know. So, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. I tell you were talking about if the Heat don't succeed, or if the Lakers crash and burn, or even if they are the 3rd seed and they don't win a championship these next couple of years, LA might be in shambles for a little while because they traded away the future.
Might be in Clipper position.
Yeah, they might be in Detroit position.
A position that's in the NBA is really hard to get out of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I see no problems with that.
Thank you, but someone will. Some people will.
I think I only have one team that's ugly, and not bad, that just barely missed being ugly. Or I have one team that's bad that just barely missed being ugly. It's them right here.
The Kings.
Sacramento Kings.
The Kings became.
Most people probably look at that and say ugly. I think the only reason it's not ugly is because of the 4-year extension on Rashawn Holmes. Again, this team really didn't do anything to be getting better. Like, Alex Lynn's been here. How many times has this man been on the Kings? Like 3-4 times at this point?
I don't want to claim him as a Maryland guy.
Yeah, like Alex Lynn, and like we know what Alex Lynn is. He's not. He's a bench center who just gets tossed around. He's one of those players. And even worse than Alex Lynn is Mo Harkless. Mo Harkless is worse than Alex Lynn.
He had a good dunk last year.
What does Mo Harkless average? He has one dunk. He averages probably like 2 points a game on like 5 different teams. Like, you know what I mean? It's just if they didn't re-sign Rashawn Holmes, this would have been the worst. Unless they do something else to change their mind, this would have been. They had the potential to be the worst offseason of any of the teams for one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I guarantee I can top you. Because for some reason, the New Orleans Pelicans don't care at all what Zion wants. The future of the NBA. And you want to play Nickeil Alexander-Walker more minutes? Okay, well, no. You want Lonzo Ball to be the point guard of the future? Actually, I was thinking we trade him for Garrett Temple, Tomas Satoransky, and a second-round pick. What are you doing? And then you get Devontae Graham, who had like 45 good days.
Mm-hmm.
He had all-star buzz for like a month. And since then, he's been just average. He shoots like 37% from the field. That's terrible. That is horrible.
I don't think he's the worst, but yeah, I don't think he's the answer at point guard.
And you
for
give
them.
up your 6'6", defensive-minded, 3-and-D point guard for a somewhat 6-foot guy. Like, not a facilitator whatsoever. He is out there to look for his shot. It just is.
I feel like Garrett Temple will
confusing.
be fine. Garrett Temple is going to be Garrett Temple. He's going to get him some points and have some nice
It's
games.
so confusing. Why would you do this?
And then
When you
whoever, sorry, any NBA fans of Didi Louzada.
got-
I'm not very familiar. Did he play for the Knicks or like who did he play? Was he on the?
quite sure.
Was he on the Pelicans? That's the and that one's yeah. I'm sorry if y'all are fans of his 4-year deal here. I don't know who this is, but you know I can see what you're saying here. Yeah, this might be the time to. Well, then that begs the question. We heard all these reports that Zion's family doesn't like it, and maybe he doesn't like it. Do they know something that we don't? Is Zion potentially not the future of the New Orleans basketball? Somehow, some way?
Well, maybe he could have been if David Griffin didn't mess it all up like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's definitely probably management at this point. Like,
yeah, and then it just I don't understand. And then you trade it for I'm blanking on the name right now. Valanciunas.
mm-hmm.
Traded him from the Grizzlies to get on the Pelicans.
Do you think who do you think won that trade?
He's
I'm
better than
curious.
Adams, but he brings no spacing. And then you trade up to the 10th pick, looking for a guy like Josh Giddey if you're the Grizzlies. Well, then the Thunder take him 6th, so swing and a miss there. And that's why you don't do trades before the draft, because you never get your guy.
Yeah,
So-
New Orleans has a lot of talent, and they just don't seem. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know what it is. If it's the culture and the organization, that's probably what it boils down to. This team should be better than it is, and it should be making better trades and better acquisitions and moves than it is.
And I was a big believer in David Griffin. I thought he was one of the better general managers in the league, but he's kind of letting me down right now.
Yeah.
So I have them in the ugly. I think they had the worst.
Oh, you have them. You
off-season.
want to start getting into ugly?
Well, I mean, I think they had the worst off season thus far. So I'm
Ooh.
more than happy to put them in the
See,
ugly.
I would disagree. I think the worst offseason so far is the team. My first ugly team is Detroit. not much of a shocker here. You're paying Kelly Olynyk more money than he deserves. You re-sign Corey Joseph, and then you get Trey Lyles. The Kings had something redeeming in the extension for Rashawn Holmes, who I actually am very high on. There's no redeeming factors for Detroit so far. Solid draft. Maybe that's
Very good
why.
draft.
I think the draft very good. I love well, obviously Kate Cunningham made the right choice with him, but also I forget who their second round pick
Luka
was.
Garza,
That
Iowa.
Luka Garza I really like too. So
They got
think-
the 2 best players in college basketball.
Yeah, so I really like what they did in the draft. Off season so much it could have been worse, but still I don't see much redeeming factors. Kelly Olynyk is the best player of those 3 that got signed. And again, this is all right now. We're only a couple 2 days.
Yeah.
And so this could all change. Pistons could. I don't see most of the top tier free agents are gone. I don't see them making a big splash, but maybe they can. Maybe they can improve my way of thinking.
The Pistons making a big splash for free agent. That's a good one,
I
Nate. They're going to be the team that takes
don't know. I
Kawhi Leonard
like
out
the
of LA.
future of Detroit. I just didn't like this offseason. Like I'm very high on Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart, and I still think Killian Hayes has potential. And then you have Jeremy Grant. You're adding Cade Cunningham. This team has a bright future, but if we're just talking about this offseason, I think they're one of the uglies.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And then I just have a few other hypotheticals for you just to see what you think about them.
Okay.
We were going to do a video a couple days ago, which was some moves we wanted to see happen. And one I really wanted to see happen, and still really want to see happen, is John Collins to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Mm-hmm. Shea, who just got banked. Congratulations to Shea.
I just cannot imagine how good of a team that would be if you got, or at least a good young team, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander next to 6'8" guard Josh Giddey with Lou Dort, Alexei Pokusevski, and John Collins. I just want that to happen so bad. It's not going to happen.
What about Kemba Walker?
Oh, and Kemba Walker. It's not going to happen, but I just want that to happen so bad. I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder fans deserve that. They deserve that pick and roll. They deserve those alley-oops and those highlights.
I mean, that would be a very, very good move for OKC, and they have to say the least, they have the assets to do it if they really
Right.
wanted it.
But I'm at least happy they extended Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a step in the right direction because you rebuild for a guy like
That's
Shea
your
Gilgeous.
future.
Yeah.
That guy is your future, and yeah. So I think OKC is going to be in a better position to give him what it wants than the New Orleans Pelicans are doing for Zion
I'm
right
sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth here. But going back to the Lakers is why they're one of the losers, is they might have shot themselves in the foot. Because they might have made their competition better. Because if Spencer Dinwiddie actually goes to the Wizards, it's going to have to be a sign-and-trade. And if it's a sign-and-trade, then their assets that they traded for Westbrook, like Montrez and Kuz, are going right to Brooklyn. They're going right to the enemy. Right to the team they can't afford to make any better.
now. That's possible, yeah.
And Dinwiddie, all reports claim he wants to go to Washington. A deal is going to be made. A deal could have already been made for all I know.
I actually kind of like the prospect of Dinwiddie next to Beal. I don't know how you feel.
I like that prospect.
I like the prospect of it. I think that's a good fit.
I like it a lot of the prospect of Beal getting out of Washington a lot better, and you just rebuilding around Kuz, Montrezl Harrell,
What do you think?
Caldwell Pope,
If Beal leaves, where do you think his best bet is?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, not bad. I always thought Denver, but yeah, the more I think
Okay.
about it, I don't know if he would mesh. I feel like he could mesh next to Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. That'd be a nice big three.
Wouldn't be a whole lot of facilitating in that backcourt.
No, but
Entertaining.
30 points per game possibility. He's not going to get that if he's on the Denver Nuggets. But and then how do you feel about the Boston Celtics Bradley Beal rumors? Do you think he'd be a good fit in Boston if you trade away like perhaps like 2 firsts, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal? Do you think that's too much? Do you think it's a good prospect?
I don't think you give up Jaylen Brown quite yet, and I don't think Beal gets traded quite yet. I know I was on that throughout the idea of him getting traded, but I don't know. On the one hand, I don't think Brown and Tatum work well together. I don't think that can be the duo going forward. They're not good at facilitating. They look for
That's
their
why
own
we
shot.
needed Lonzo Ball. That's
They
why we
have
needed
tunnel
that.
vision.
That's why we needed that very good defensive, facilitating, pass first minded point guard.
I mean, maybe you do just build around Tatum and put the pieces around him. But I think you give it till the trade deadline and then you work things out. I was more of the mindset that Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown.
I just don't like the prospect of Damian Lillard, and I know people are going to be like, "What? Damian Lillard's like one of my favorite players," but it's just again that's to me that's similar to Kyrie. Kyrie is a shoot first.
Right.
Takes most of the shots. He's going to take shots away from Tatum and the rest of the team, and we saw how that ended with Kyrie. And I think Dame right now is better than Kyrie, but still I don't see much of a difference. We just don't need a point guard that's going to take most of the shots anyway, and we need a facilitating playmaking old style point guard. That's what we need. So would I be excited? Yeah, I mean I'd welcome it. Maybe it goes better than I think, but I don't know. Dame to the Celtics. Maybe not the best fit. Maybe talent over fit, like you talk about. But yeah, I agree. I don't think Beal's going anywhere this season, at least. I think, and as of all indications, he doesn't really seem to be revving and ready to get out of Washington. Like he there might be some hinklings, like, maybe I'll think about it, but he doesn't seem like I demand a trade right now. I need out.
Right.
I need out right now. He seems fairly comfortable. He probably I think he likes the city. I think he likes the fan base. I think he likes the organization for right now. So, yeah, give him probably another year or two.
And
I'd say he's still there.
how do you feel about Andre Drummond going to the 76ers earlier today?
I mean, it's a solid backup center, but, it really doesn't make, to me, that much of a difference. An old-school center is kind of fading out. Even there are some old-school centers still in the league that are better than him.
Right.
I mean, and that they have better fits. I don't know. It's not the worst. But I don't think it's the best. I think it's a pretty mediocre
I would maybe
signing.
rather have JaVale McGee than Andre
Yeah,
Drummond.
as of right now, yeah, I would. So
Rim
I think
protection.
it's a pretty mediocre signing. But hey, it's not a huge loss. It's a 1-year deal.
Right.
I
So we somehow managed to go through basically every team.
do have one more team that's a loser as of
Okay.
right now, or as an ugly, and it's the Orlando Magic.
Well, yeah.
Robin Lopez, really.
That's their sole signing.
There's nothing else left to say.
So I think
Robin
we can end it there. Robin Lopez. I think that should be the last.
We
player.
ended on Robin Lopez. This is for my man Benny. This is my man Benny the Bull.
Benny the Bull.
Getting revenge.
So this is his punishment for when he comes to the mascot.
He's got to go play in Disney World.
That's probably why I did it. We know Robin Lopez loves Disney World. So I think we can call it there. We somehow managed to talk about basically all 30 teams. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time on the Debate Mates.